In September of 2020, the Babb Road wildfire destroyed the towns of Malden and Pine City. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts sent that fire racing across 15,000 acres, ravaging everything in its path. 120 homes and 100 other buildings, including the fire station and the post office, burned to the ground. And in just one afternoon, countless lives changed.
A year later, a Washington Department of Natural Resources investigation identified the source of the fire, tracing it back to a damaged ponderosa pine near Avista power lines. Well, today the family who lost everything, or families rather, filed a lawsuit against Avista.
Our Amanda Rowley has been following this story from the very beginning, and she was at the press conference today where the lawyers for these families laid out their case. Amanda?
Two law firms are now representing more than 27 Malden and Pine City families who lost everything in the Babb Road fire more than a year and a half ago. This morning, they filed a lawsuit against Avista for failing to remove the diseased tree where the fire started. Several months after the devastating Babb Road fire, Washington's Department of Natural Resources completed its investigation into what happened. They found strong winds knocked a branch off this diseased tree, which fell onto a nearby Avista power line. DNR's final report does not explicitly blame Avista for the fire, but these attorneys representing Malden and Pine City families say it's clear the power company was responsible for preventing this fire.
We're going to hold Avista accountable for the lack of maintaining the vegetation around the very power lines that ignited the fire.
The lawsuit claims Avista allowed the defective tree to grow for many years alongside its power lines. It says Avista should have been aware of the hazard this tree presented and have it removed or trimmed prior to the fire.
To us, this was an obvious and known heavily defective tree which was diseased. Avista had the obligation to monitor, inspect its lines, identify this tree as a serious problem, and it failed to do that.
The lawsuit lists several ways in which Avista failed in its responsibility to maintain vegetation near its power lines. According to their attorneys, the families listed in the lawsuit are in various stages of rebuilding their homes and their lives. But for most of them, it's still a long road to recovery. Both towns received some federal funding from FEMA to rebuild government buildings and roads. But individual families have been left in the lurch to rebuild their homes.
We're here to basically compensate our clients and get them in a position where they were before the fire started.
The lawsuit does not list a specific dollar amount requested for damages. That's being left for the jury to decide. Now, additional families and businesses are expected to join the complaint as time goes on. I called Avista several times today for comment and so far have not been successful. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.